Introducing now our next speaker, Mrs. Baria Alamuddin, who is Editor-in-Chief of the Media Services Syndicate. And her topic is going to be making the impossible possible. Please note that after the presentation, you will be able to ask some questions in the chat. You know how to do it. You will see it on your screens. And then we are going to announce these questions to Mrs. Alamuddin, and she will kindly answer. There will be only a limited number of questions we will be able to take, so better if you prepare them in advance. So, Baria Alamuddin.
Hello? Hello?
Yes, Barry, we can hear you very well. We cannot see you.
Oh,
yet.
Okay, let me see what's going on here. Can you see me now?
Not yet. Not yet. Not
okay.
yet.
My abilities are not great, but let me try my best.
Absolutely, we are waiting for you very impatiently, and at the end of your...
You know, technology is never amazing for me. I don't know. Let me see.
Absolutely, absolutely. We totally agree, and you probably will not be the only speaker who will experience this today.
Yeah. Can anybody tell me what to do, perhaps, and you know, sort of guide me?
Yes, you have to switch on your camera, but it looks like you do have your camera switched on.
Okay, 1 second. Is this better? Can you see me?
No, unfortunately,
I can't see you. I can hear you very clearly. But
yes, I can hear you very well, but we cannot see you still.
Is this,
oh, yes, perfect. Wonderful. Welcome to Creative Women. We are so happy to see you, as always, so beautiful. And
thanks. Thank you, Olga. I must tell you, I mean, first, let me say hello to all, to your Royal Highnesses, to the excellencies that are with us, and to you, my friends. I miss you all. It's been quite a year since we saw each other in Cyprus. I'm seriously excited for the next 2 days. Thank you, Olga, for organizing this. Thank you to all the organizers, Alexandra and the rest. I trust the technology will help us, and you can hear me and see me clearly. Today, I would like to share with you some of my thoughts and experiences during the last 3 months. Then I'll be, as Olga said, be very happy to answer you. However, I'd like to share with you first a prose or a poem that a friend sent me. She said, "Sunrise is not on lockdown. Love is not on lockdown. Family time is not on lockdown. Kindness is definitely not on lockdown, quite the contrary. Creativity is not on lockdown. Learning, conversation are not on lockdown. Meditation is not on lockdown. Work from home is definitely the thing to do. Hope, which is most important here, is not on lockdown. My dear friends, cherish what you have. Lockdown is an opportunity, and we need to take this opportunity to do what we have always wanted to do. I think this is more or less the case with me. But from the outset, let me tell you, what I heard most from my friends and colleagues was the word impossible. Impossible. How can I work from home? How can I live with my husband 24/7 all the time? How can I teach my children? How can I not go out, not buy things, not go to my club and share a drink in the bar? To be honest with you, I had no idea what we were going to be faced with. But certain thoughts rushed to my mind as I told them, the answer is there is no such a thing as impossible. You can achieve your goals and deal with everything with patience, ambition, and drive. And to be honest, certain thoughts started coming and rushing into my mind. Wow, this is great. No traveling, no endless meetings, no conferences. I didn't think of virtual conferences then. As I said, the word impossible is not coined for those who do not want to imagine, achieve, or even dream. Hello, can you hear me all?
It's perfect. Yes, absolutely. Perfect.
Okay, perfect. I said to myself, I can work on this and that. I can write my weekly column, read endlessly as I like to do, work on my books, organize my life, you know how it is when somebody travels all the time. And yes, perhaps watch a funny or romantic movie. 12 weeks into lockdown, this is what I did. My planning was perfect on paper. Implementation was, to say the least, sketchy. I suffered lapses of concentration as the gravity of the situation became clear. However, I'll be very honest with you, I was never bored. I was frantically busy embarking on new projects, discovering new venues of creativity, and helping others in any way or form I could. Actually, I just finished writing a children's storybook for my grandchildren's birthday, which I got illustrated through a friend. And it is going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow is Ella and Alexander's birthday, and they will be 3. Yet the pandemic has been traumatic time for many, notably refugee populations and disadvantaged communities lacking clean water or basic sanitary conditions that required them to protect themselves from the virus. Then there are these medics and the frontline workers risking their lives to keep us safe. The world is overwhelmed with pandemics. Besides the COVID-19, there is conflict, there is wars, there is hunger, there is, of course, racism. Can you believe that 25,000 people die every single day from hunger? 9 million every year? Sub-Saharan African infant mortality rates result in 1 in every 9 children dying before the age of 5. Malaria kills 3,000 Africans every single day. Central Africa faces additional problems and a new threat from the new Ebola outbreak. My native country, Lebanon, that I love very dearly, is one of the numerous states on the edge of economic abyss. Due to the pandemic, also you compounded many, many challenges that we face. In this once flourishing, beautiful nation, more than 50% of the people are falling below the poverty line, with so many families not knowing where their next meal will come from. Aside from COVID-19, we are living through an era of disturbing levels of anger. Protests, popular uprising occur when a significant cross-section of the population isn't accorded its dignity or allowed to express its identity. Whether we're talking about the Palestinians, Africans, Americans, Iranians, Iraqis, or Hong Kong citizens facing an overwhelming problems. In the US and numerous other locations around the world, citizens protesting state violence against them. They are being confronted with huge violence from their own people that are supposed to protect them. This is only doing a cycle of and toxic mistrust and social alienation. When regimes violently lash out against their citizens, this is not a sign of strength, but panic and defensive weakness. Confident, popular, and respected government don't deploy tear gas or live ammunitions against their citizens. Strong governing systems are flexible. not brittle. They evolve, they change with the circumstances and unexpected crises, absorbing diverse views and acknowledging criticism. Strong systems are greater than the sum of their parts, not simply beholden to the whims of a strong man, a dictator, or a corrupt man. Although it feels as if the world has gone to hell, these protests actually give me hope. In the era of COVID-19, where we risk our lives by stepping outside our front doors, thousands of ordinary citizens, often young people, only just old enough to vote, are taking stand against injustice, oppression, and racism. These problems keep me awake at night. And I'm lucky to have the outlet of expressing my opinion and frustrations through my writings and interviews. However, it is difficult and it's not all textbook. The following approaches I will share with you have actually helped me make the most of the lockdown. First, careful time management. Scheduling my day helped me achieve what I want to do. My diary was overfull, writing like 8 o'clock this, 9 o'clock this, etc. Trying new things and new outlets of creativity. Never waste an opportunity to postpone your dreams. Never, ever. Your dreams can be renewed every single day. Other things that I realized, simplicity is really key to happiness. There is no need to burden yourselves with unnecessary complexities. Getting involved in projects to help others in this time is the most important thing. It actually brings your own rewards. It makes you feel better about yourself, appreciate yourself better, and love yourself. Unfortunately, these are divisive times. We must come together as a society in these divisive times, yes. And we should come together and work together, understand each other, give space for each other. We should not be judging each other. We should accept other people's opinions and love them for it. It makes us richer. Finally, I want to tell you about the happiest things I did. And they were gardening, walking. I walked endlessly. I'm lucky to have space around me. Watching very few funny movies, and of course some romantic ones with happy endings. The happiest times were those I spent with my children and grandchildren, my dear family, and my very dear friends. I love FaceTime. No one profits from instability and uncertainty. However, we should always make the best of the situations we find ourselves in. Indeed, it's to make the impossible possible. Thank you all and stay safe. And I love you all. Thank you. Ready for your questions.
Dear Baria, thank you so much for your very informative, but especially very, very passionate speech, which was extremely, extremely touching. I must tell you that people sending you lots of good wishes and from Cyprus and from other places, which I would like to.
I miss Cyprus. I want to go there again.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will be back, and we obviously have to stay very, very positive and wait for better times to travel and to go back to Cyprus and to other places. Thank you very much. It was extremely, extremely inspiring, and lots of compliments and agreement coming. And lots of love and admiration, and agreement with everything what you said. I would like to ask actually a question, because there are more messages of admiration rather than questions. I would like, however, to ask you a question. Obviously, we know that you You're in a very difficult profession, or you're a political journalist, and you've been doing it for so many years, and you've been interviewing the most powerful people around the world, and at times, at very challenging times in the history of a different country. How, as a woman, because after all, this conference is about women, Create Your Women Conference, how, as a woman, you were handling these challenges when you had to carry out most challenging interviews and most challenging, politically challenging situations, how you were preparing yourself, how you were overcoming this difficult moments when you were suspecting that some questions would not be answered, or you might be putting the interviewer in a very difficult position.
I try to put them in a difficult position.
You see? So how you were achieving this? Please share.
Yes, I tell you, I first always have prepared for my meetings and for my interviews very, very well, because soon they catch you if you're not prepared. Second, it's my self-confidence and the respect of my profession and for myself that helped me a lot. When I started journalism in Lebanon and the Arab world and the world at large was not really as respected and as understood as it is now. Now journalism is actually everything. It tells us the truth. I'm not talking about all journalism. Of course, there are areas of journalism that are not respected, that don't always look for the truth. It is very difficult to be a journalist nowadays. Every day, last week I wrote a column about a political party in my country, and I cannot tell you the amount of emails and messages. Oh, be safe. Oh, stay safe. Because these people are murderers. They can kill you. They can. You are faced with real challenges that can involve life and death.
Were you really afraid at the times for your life, for your safety?
Yes, many times.
Many times.
Many times, many situations. I can tell you once I went in the Philippines and I went to write about the Muslim insurgency in the Philippines, and I encountered some terrorists and I tried to help save a girl's life. I was left in the jungles for hours running for my life. That was challenging. Some of my writings, I suppose, are quite challenging now because, the world, unfortunately, is not full of good countries like Cyprus. There are despots, there are people who do not tolerate the thinking of the other. I always write just to inform people, to tell people of how passionate about the justices that injustices that are in the world. As you know, the world these days, as I said, is faced by racism. We women, Olga, as you very well know, are faced with inequalities every single day. Look at the pandemic. I wrote an article how the women in the world have faced the pandemic much better than all the men put together. Look at what happened in, for example, Norway and in, what's that country near Australia? It doesn't come to my mind. Jacinda oh God, it will come to me. So all the women around the world, in Finland, everywhere there were, New Zealand, everywhere there were women, the pandemic had been showing much better treatments, much better results, and lockdown had finished quicker. So women are unique in their positions. They are the mothers. They can be better leaders, I promise you, than men. I have no quarrel with men, but I don't want to be unequal to men. I think we should be equal. I can always tell you that I imagine our society like a bird with two wings. It cannot fly with only the men in charge, or the men being better than us, or having better salaries, or being treated better, or thought of as better. It's two wings. And all the societies that are flying with two wings are doing much better than others. So lots of challenges, but with determination and self-confidence, you can do it.
Beautifully said. Thank you very, very much. Obviously, you're coming from Lebanon, a country where possibly being a woman, being a young lady, and to become a journalist was particularly challenging. Now, focusing more on your background, how did you overcome this challenges being a woman from the Middle East?
Sure. I mean, of course, Lebanon is thought of the Switzerland or the Paris of the Middle East.
Of course, of course.
We are lucky in Lebanon because we have different religions. And luckily, my family, I come from, my mom was amongst the first graduates from the American University of Beirut. She graduated with a master's in education. And my upbringing gave me this forceful beginning in life. My mom always taught us that, the sky is the limit. This is exactly what I taught my children, what I teach my grandchildren. I have two formidable daughters, two formidable granddaughters. And that gives me a lot of hope, that really helps me to see that we women, we decide who we are. We actually bring up the men, we bring up the boys, and if we tell them we're equal to each other, then indeed we will be equal. If we tell the girl, you sit in the kitchen, you only cook and clean, and where the boy only can go out to university and study, it doesn't work this way. They share everything, housework, work outside. As you know, economic situations, not only in Lebanon, but everywhere around the world, makes women need to work. It's not a luxury to work. Maybe some women have the luxury of sitting at home. I can share with you that a lot of my friends that are not working, that have the luxury of not working, always tell me, oh, you are so lucky you are working. I wish I chose to work. But no, honestly, no, you have to work. You have to make something out of yourself. You have to contribute to society and to the world at large. You are just a citizen of this world. Yes?
Thank you very much. And the last question would be, what were the most important values? Some probably something was already answered previously by you. What were the most important values you were trying to teach your daughters to become alive and to what to achieve?
I have two daughters, Tala and Amal, as you know, Olga, and they're both, Tala is very successful, a creative businesswoman. Amal is a human rights lawyer, and I told them that they have to get out in the world, they have to have self-confidence, they have to leave a mark. They cannot just simply come to this world and leave without leaving a mark. In any way or form they can. Again, I consider myself very lucky because my boys are also, I have two stepsons, Samar and Ziad, and they're all, again, successful. And I'm very happy to tell you that they treat their wives even in a better way than they treat themselves. They feel that the wives are equal. They're not in any way undermined. They both work, they both travel, and their wives, Dania and Rima, are very successful. And I'm also happy to say that my daughters are very lucky to have the husbands they have. They share with them their passions for human rights, for leaving a mark in the world. And of course, indeed, again, they cannot be alone in this. It takes two to tango. We have to work together. And this is why Creative Woman is very important experience, because we listen in reality and in truth to each other's experiences and how to overcome them. My society was against me. I tell you, one of the experiences very, very quickly was being a stepmom. It wasn't easy at the time because a stepmom was considered, and I presume still is like Cinderella's stepmom, is bad. You're guilty until proven innocent. I have the most wonderful experience with them. I was so lucky to be able to raise them and to change the image that people have. I wrote the most wonderful article about that experience. but raising my girls is specifically important to me, and to raise them free, and to have this passion for life, this passion for doing something, this passion for dreaming endlessly, and to be creative endlessly. This is why I love the title of this conference.
Thank you so much. Actually, there is one last question. I break my promise before we'll be thanking you again.
Okay.
And the question from the panel would be, if you had one wish, what would it be?
In the world, or for me, or
generally for yourself? Yes, I think it's a personal question. What would be your wish?
For me, now my biggest wish is I want to hold my children and grandchildren, my brother, my sister, my family, and smell them and give them endless kisses and hugs. But for the world, justice and peace. We need justice in every sphere of the world. Once we have justice, peace will prevail, and then development will come and the world will flourish. Thank you very much. Thank you all for listening to me.
Dear Baria, thank you so much. We have many messages, as I said before, complimenting and sending your love and admiration. Thank you for being with us, Baria Alamuddin. Thank you very much, and we'll be waiting for welcoming you soon at our events and next.
I'll be there. I'll be there.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay.